Hi, I'm Christy, and this is my friend Vicki. And I am interviewing Vicki today as part of my field work for cultural diversity. Um, and Vicki and I met a while back. We are both involved in different charities, so we have passions that actually relate to animals and our those are our passions, so those are not our day jobs. and I'm gonna let Vicki actually explain what she does as part of her day job, and you can see where leads into our differences and how our culture is different. So if you can explain what your day job is.
My day job, what I do to get paid and to pay the bills, I work with people with disabilities so they can have a developmental disability and they could be deaf or they could be hearing. It doesn't matter. I work with both, but I like to focus on deaf people because I love their culture.
Thank you. So my first question is how easy do you think it is for someone to find a job who is hearing impaired?
Well, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, then it's extremely hard to find a job. Most people are scared when they see a deaf person or a hard of hearing person, or they're actually excited and they're like, "Oh, I know some words. I know sign language." And then when they start to communicate, we see, "Oh, no, we know some vocab, maybe two, three words, which is not a language." Or the person who is trying to find the employee um, is scared because they don't want to pay for an interpreter. How am I going to teach the staff, or how am I going to communicate with this person who's deaf? So they see the barriers. They they see the barriers and not the positives.
Okay, and so that leads up to really one of my other questions, the barriers that they see. Because I know we've seen some things in the news lately where somebody has gotten actually punched because a customer didn't understand why the employee was not answering them. And they didn't even take the time to realize, oh, the employee was deaf and couldn't even hear that the reason why they didn't turn around was because they could not hear the patron actually asking questions. So understanding that that's a barrier. Um, are there any other barriers that they typically, that you see that come across or?
Yes. If a deaf person goes to a training, um, then normally the employer does not want to pay for an interpreter. So the new employee doesn't know how to do the job right. They're guessing because they probably lip read, or they were told to lip read, or the deaf person said, "Yes, I can do that. I can lip read because I want to keep my job." And then they watched a video, which would be fine if it had the words,
Mm.
but if there's no caption, they can't understand. I had a friend in the past. Um, they had her. She worked at Michael's, and there was a video that she had to watch. Must watch this video to work here, is what she was told. She said, "Okay, do you have caption for me?" "No, there's no caption. We don't have the remote, so we don't know how to do that." So she said, "Okay." So she wanted to keep her job. So she watched the video, had no clue what it said,
Mm-hmm.
but she was supposed to understand and use that. information to do her job.
So it's not really fair.
No, there's no fair there. Um, Other things are um, either fellow staff or maybe the boss will talk to the deaf person's back, so they don't even know someone is talking to them, and obviously they're not going to catch the information given.
Mm-hmm.
Some other problems is a big problem is communication. Like you said, I had a friend here at my house, and he sneezed outside when he was getting ready to leave, and my neighbor heard, so she said, "Bless you."
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't say thank you back. She got an attitude and was all up her head and everything, and she repeated herself 3 times.
Uh-huh.
I signed to him. She said, "Bless you. Do you want me to tell her you're deaf?" And he said, "No, I don't care." Because hearing is just as rude to me all the time. So those are some of the barriers.
Got you. Um, what are some of the typical jobs that you see that the hearing impaired might prefer?
Well, deaf want good jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they don't see it as a problem to work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so there are many, many, many deaf professionals, and people don't understand that. They don't even know. A lot of deaf work to assist other deaf, because it's easier. It's easier because then they can communicate with ASL to the other deaf person. So, like a job counselor for deaf,
Mm-hmm.
or working at Gallaudet, the deaf college in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but deaf are just as varied as hearing. So they all have different passions.
Yeah. So an example also is that pizza place that they opened and they hired just deaf
Yeah.
employees so
Yep.
they can assist
Yeah.
others that are just like them.
hmm
And then, what do you think that brings up other businesses that are taking extra strides to be inclusive, not only to help their employees but also their patrons,
Right.
like Starbucks,
Right.
like
Yes.
their drive-throughs, and they're
That's right.
having so that their deaf customers don't have to do the drive-through and go all the way forward, but they have the screens now so that they can assist their patrons better.
Yes. Yes. And I will tell you that happened because one of the Starbucks employees was rude to a deaf person, and that person did a DOJ complaint. They're
Gotcha.
they're trying to look like they're proactive, but they weren't. uh, it, Advertising is funny.
Yeah, yeah. But it works. In the
Yeah,
long run,
yeah,
it benefited the population.
absolutely. Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Deaf always appreciate when they can communicate.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, if hearing people would just learn maybe 10 words, that would be helpful. Please, thank you. Know how to get the attention of a deaf person, or just have the idea. Maybe they're deaf if they're not responding to me. If they just had that idea to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
uh, life would be a little bit easier for the deaf.
Yeah. Um,